video, and today we're going to do a very special one, one that you guys have had to be waiting for a very long time, a couple months. So welcome. Make sure to already click that like button down below and the subscribe button to the other side. Yeah, let's start this video. So we're here starting with the whiteboard videos, as you can see, which I want to pretty much take in as steps, a little small course on the YouTube channel for the beginners, and then we're going to get into a little bit more advanced parts later on. But yeah, pretty much as I said, we're going to start from the beginning for the people that have just joined or the people that just subscribed and just started watching. This is a very good one to watch, especially if you're new to trading. We're pretty much going to start over from the basics. We're going to keep it basic. We don't want to go to too much detail because that's not in for any need. But yeah, let's start. So pretty much the big question is, especially for the new people coming in, what is Forex? Forex is pretty much a very big decentralized global market where currency is exchanging. So as an example, let's say you think one currency pair, say the pound or the yen, is going to be worth more than the other. You're going to pretty much call in a trade and expect a profit from that. You can also take a loss from that, but that's what you're pretty much trying to do. So you're expecting a certain pair or a certain currency to be worth more than the other, and you're going to act up on that. So pretty much the second question is, how big is Forex? Forex is pretty much the biggest market in the world. It's money, and it's the current market is around $6.6 trillion that's floating around currently. Pretty much trading on the spot, as we're doing, is pretty much around $2.2 trillion. So still a lot of money, very, very big market, bigger than most markets currently. So yeah, that's where we're pretty much trading in. Now, another very good question is, when can we trade Forex? And that's something that a lot of gurus has been pretty much fucking up, because people say 24/7, markets open 24/7, pretty much 24/5, but it's still rolling at the end of the day in between the weekend. But what's good for yourself to note already, before I'm going to go into the times, is that you have to choose your times to trade where volatility is. Even people say, yeah, the market's open, you can go to this and go to that, you don't have to care. You do, because it's very important to know when your trading time is. So let's start. We can start from the Asian session to the London session to the New York and New York Stock Exchange, which are pretty much the biggest sessions you can trade and pretty much the most preferred ones. There's some more Sydney and some other ones, but I like to focus on Frankfurt, London, and those sessions. So let's start from the Asian session. Let's call it an A for the moment. And what's important to note in this session, that there's always going to be a pre-session where volume is going to come in before the actual open from the session. So when that happens, we're talking CET time right now, for the people that get confused about times, which I did in the beginning as well, so I can't say much. So pretty much we're starting at I'm going to do this one. It's a very good one with the time because I'm used to different sort of times. But 12:30 a.m. we got pre-Asian session. Volume starts to come in. You can get into the market. You can say, hey, you know, I'm going to sit behind the charts. I'm going to analyze for myself what I'm going to do later on in the session. See if you can spot certain entries or not. Yeah, and see maybe where the market's going to go. So from that pre-session, you're going to go further into the open of the Asian session, Tokyo Open, and that's pretty much going to happen at 2 o'clock a.m. So there we go. put that down. So you have in between that time around 1.5 hour time period for yourself to settle down, create your chart, and put in that work to see if you're going to be able to catch a move around that time. So 2 a.m. we have a higher volatility market open where pretty much a lot of volatility is going to come into the market. Now, what's very what you have to note down is if you're a beginner trader, you have to be careful at those times because there could be certain spikes happening or price starting to rally in a certain direction which you're not expecting. So I would let that price rest down when the open comes. Right here, Tokyo Open comes, let it wait 5 minutes for it to settle down and then for yourself to start looking for what you can do. Now, in my opinion, Asian session ends around 3:30, 4 o'clock. So let's take that time to the ending at around 04 a.m. CET time, which pretty much the volume dies down until London session. So if your time zone is pretty much around the Asian session when you wake up, this is the time to choose because what I personally think is the first moment you're waking up for the day is you're the freshest. There's nothing been in your day that could have changed your thoughts. So pick your time based on pretty much the time you're waking up. So Asian session, we've done that now, and we're gonna go to the London session. Now, for most people, London session starts at 7:30 a.m. So we're gonna put that down for a moment, 7:30 a.m. And around that time, you are going to be looking at the charts, same as this time, analyzing, putting in your chart work, and looking at when market open is going to be. Now, in this time, it's a little different. We're going to get Frankfurt Open, and Frankfurt Open is at 8 o'clock. Oh, and at 8 o'clock Frankfurt Open, we're going to get a little more volume in the market than pre-London, where price most likely will move. Now, in my own experience, pre-London, Frankfurt Open shows you very, very nice moves, and even if you're able to catch them, maybe that's going to be the trend for the rest of the day. So, after Frankfurt Open, you're going to go up towards London Open, and London Open is pretty much 9 a.m. And at 9 a.m. the real volume starts coming in, and we're live, the people are getting at the desks and stuff. So at those times, especially at London, there's just going to be massive spikes happening, and where price is going to pretty much move more than usual, or volatility comes in. Again, what I said before, I think I said that about the Asian session as well. It's very important to note for yourself is that you want to wait a couple minutes for that price to settle down again, and for yourself to see where you're going to get in later on, because when that volume comes in, price going to be breaking highs, price going to be breaking lows, especially people that are buying high and selling low. They want to get in. Please don't do that. You're going to get faked out, especially in those two time zones over there. So after 9 a.m. we're going to go up towards pretty much what I say when the volume is going down. 10:30, I would say London for that moment is stopped till the end of London, but that's later on in the day. We're probably going to talk about that in a different session, but 10:30 a.m. is where I say don't trade anymore until pre-New York. So as said, we're going to go to New York now. London is covered, pretty much New York right over here, and then we're going to start with 12:30 a.m. and that's going to be the start of pre-New York. Now again, as all the other sessions, as said before, as that 12:30 Asian session, 7:30 a.m. London session, and again 12:30 p.m. This is PM. I've said it wrong. PM London session, CET time, Amsterdam time. You're going to again be analyzing your chart, looking at where you're going to enter for New York Open. New York Open is 2 o'clock for my time, CET time. Here we go. 2 p.m. And at that time, volume starts to drop into the market, especially New York. The dollar, US dollar, is one of the biggest currencies currently that's leading that market. I think it's like 70 or 80% or something. That's moving it. So yeah, volume is going to come in there, price going to move, and certain characteristics you can see in New York is that price just goes on and keeps on going. If you look in Asian London, especially London, price tends to fake out, get you into those buys, get you into sells, and turn into the other direction. And in New York, you can maybe always see that price just going to keep on rallying to the direction it's already going. And then after New York Open, you're gonna get New York Stock Exchange, and that's 3:30 p.m. That's very nicely written, Luke. Very nice. Well done. But Stock Exchange Open, also again, a lot of volume comes in, and later on we're going to get London close. But overall, these times you're going to be looking at for yourself to trade. Good morning. But yeah, after that we're going to go to the last question of today, and then are the currency pairs for you to trade inside those times, because that's one of the most important things as well, especially if you're scalping. So let's say Asian session, you're not going to trade the euro inside an Asian session because there's most likely going to be no volume. So what you have to do is you have to be looking at the certain currencies, like the euro, the dollar, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, the pound, the yen, whatever you want to look at. Doesn't matter to me. But what you have to be looking at is where are those prices going to be open, because you don't expect a lot of volume from what I said before, the euro, to be happening in the Asian session, because then most people in Europe are asleep, right? So for the euro, you're going to be looking at these 2 sessions for yourself to trade, and especially if scalping, you just want to have one of those sessions open. So for an example, if you start trading in New York, maybe you want to have the yen closed at that time, and then you're just going to start trading, as an example, dollar yen, USD JPY, right? Because then you're expecting only movement from the dollar to happen inside that currency pair. One pair can only influence that pair at that moment. And vice versa again, you can start trading the yen, USD yen, at Asian session, right? Because then the dollar is pretty much closed, and then you can just trade the yen for yourself at those times. You can also trade them combined, but I would start doing that at a later time for yourself. But at the end of the day, this was the video, the first one, so I probably made a couple mistakes here and there, but yeah, all learning lessons at the end of the day, right? If you enjoyed it, make sure to make those thumbs up, get those thumbs up, subscribe, turn on that bell notifications to know when I'm going live. And next Sunday there will be another whiteboard video again, going into more detail on some next level subjects. So thank you guys, you know the vibe. I'll see you tomorrow morning, London Open.